Hey, let's just hope they beat them in the playoffs, right? That's what's happened the past 2 seasons. Worked out okay, but don't worry about the first 2 games that they got outscored 21-7. As we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, Ruben Amaro Jr., John Kruk coming up in just a few moments. When you look at these numbers, 12-4, the Atlanta Braves beat the Phillies. 21-7, they've been outscored the first 2 games of the season. And all I'll say is Atlanta was ready, guys. Atlanta pitched well, and they even had Bruce Streckman against them, and they still managed to win.
The Phillies look like a team that's still stuck in spring training, kind of going through the motions. Defensively, didn't look great. They've looked sloppy at times. I thought Alec Boehm should have had an error called on him earlier in the ball game. Aaron Nola, say what you want. He just did not have good stuff today. Sporadic breaking ball. His breaking ball would be good for a hitter. Then later on that same at bat, he'd kind of throw a spinner up there and it would get hit all over the ballpark. He got peppered. He got peppered around the park. They don't look sharp. I mean, in all honesty, I could look at this team until I'm blue in the face and say they just don't look sharp. Look at the top of the order. What? Schwarber had a hit, Turner had a hit. And JT, at least, I thought, was one guy who looked like he was swinging the bat well. Bryce Harper, not so much either. I mean, there's a lot going on right now that you really don't like. I mean, you could look as far, you bring up Bruce Dreckman. The Phillies should have scored, 1 run in this game. And then, when you really look at this as a whole, they've given up, 21 runs in the last 9 innings.
Mm-hmm.
That's
21-7 outscored.
And the bullpen is, like a guy like Connor Brogdon, you have to have question marks on. Right now.
I think you're being kind. You're right. You do.
We talked about in the pregame how patient they needed to be. They did a pretty good job after going down a couple of runs and bouncing back and being really patient with Max Fried, who did not have good stuff either. And then, unfortunately, Aaron Nola comes back out in that next top half of the inning, and he walks the first guy, which is sort of a cardinal sin. And it's pretty clear that he just didn't have the crispness and the ability to get on the corners as he typically does. And, this is a great Atlanta Braves lineup, and they took advantage of it. The other part of this is, if you look at the tail of basically 2 bullpens, their bullpen threw the ball extremely well. I mean, Chavez did a heck of a job of slowing things down. And then from then on, every single guy who came out of their bullpen threw very well. Unfortunately, we had Ortiz go down because he's been throwing the ball pretty well. He goes down, hurts his foot. But, hopefully that's not something that's serious. But, we'll see where it goes from there. But, yeah, the bullpen, it just hasn't thrown all that well. And it's all about the pitching. If you don't get good quality pitching, it's tough, especially against a team like the Atlanta Braves. That bottom of the lineup, they're doing some serious damage for the Bravos.
John Kruk is at the ballpark, called today's game with Tom McCarthy. John, the play is one thing. Let me put some numbers to you. They're 0-2. They outscored 21-7 in 2 games. But last year, John, they started losing 5 of their first 6. They got outscored 42-18 against Texas and the Yankees, and they went 5-10 in their first 15. And in 2022, they were 4-8 coming out of the box. Is this in any way organizational? Is there something they're failing to do in spring training to get them prepared for the opening games?
Michael, I wish I could answer those questions because when you talk to the players, they felt like they had enough at bats. A couple guys didn't get as many as they would have liked, but they seemed to be ready to go out of spring training, and they were excited to start. And then the Braves just kind of took that away from them here pretty quickly in these first 2 games. But the beauty of it is they got 160 left to try to make up for these first 2 games that have been very ugly as far as the Phillies go.
Mm-hmm. John, talk about how important Ranger Suarez becomes for tomorrow's game, especially with as much work that the bullpen has had to endure the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think they got lucky with Aaron going, 4+ innings, because he could have easily come out in the 2nd or 3rd inning of this game. But Ranger has to, he has to give him length tomorrow. You would have to think that, Alvarado's probably available tomorrow. Soto should be available tomorrow, even though he pitched an inning today, but he didn't throw a lot of pitches. But, the first and most important thing, he has to turn over the bullpen with a lead. Wheeler did it in game 1. That didn't work out, but that's all you can ask for from Ranger. Keep them in the game, give them a chance, and hopefully the bullpen pitches better than they have. Well, they did the first game of this series against the Braves, but Ranger has to do what Ranger does, and it's going to be interesting to see what the lineup's going to be with Rob Thomson, because when Chris Sale's right, that can't be any fun at bat for all the lefties that the Phillies have in their lineup.
John, when you were playing and you got out of the box as a team to a tough start, did it weigh down on you as a team, or was it one game, no big deal?
Yeah, it bothered me more in 1994 than any other year, because other than that, we stunk. So, get 0-2, we're like, oh, we're right in it. We stunk. But 94, though, I thought, we can repeat as National League champions. I know the Expos were going to be good and whatever, but we got off to a slow start, and that really weighed on me and bothered me more than any other year, because I never anticipated with the teams we had that playoffs were in the picture. So, yeah, but this team is expected to compete for the National League East. They're expected to compete for, to get deep into the playoffs, and hopefully, they're built to win a world championship. But, the first two games has been ugly. Hopefully they can right the ship tomorrow with Ranger, and the offense can, be a little more consistent with their at-bats, and if they do, then things will be fine. But, you got to pitch better against this team than what the Phillies have showed in the second half of Game 1, and then pretty much the whole game in Game 2.
John, I'll see you tomorrow.
Can't wait.
All right, my friend, have a great night. John Kruk joining us.
Three dreaded words. Michael, you're why I drink, Michael.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it, buddy. I'm working on it. I'll see you tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. My liver does too.
I hear you. One day I'll join you for one. All right, my friend. Thanks so much.
Right after he bounced back, after the home run by Albies in the first inning, he bounced back and made some very good pitches. Got a couple of backwards Ks. And then after that, when he came back out for the second inning, I was surprised. He just didn't have the sharpness on his stuff. I'm not sure what happened in between, but all of a sudden, his stuff just wasn't there. And his ability to, paint, which is usually what he can do, that wasn't there either. And I got to give him a little bit of credit, because in a normal situation, Rob Thomson probably would have yanked him a lot earlier, because he probably saw that he didn't have his good stuff. But he stayed in there for a 4 1/3 and tried to eat up some innings for these guys. And he was a little bit of a sacrificial lamb to try to eat up some innings, even though he didn't have great stuff. He hung in there and tried to make some pitches. Unfortunately, for this team, I mean, if you're not sharp against this Atlanta Braves team, doesn't matter whether it's a 1-hole guy or the 9-hole guy, they're going to do some damage on you.
The way he could pitch, I think he's got to utilize his fastball a lot better. And that's on both sides of the plate. This is a guy that's come up through with movement. He's got that sink movement all the time. Why not throw that more? I just look at what's going on. It's curveball after curveball after curveball. This guy's better than that. And he could set up his pitches a lot better as long as he throws his four-seam fastball and his sinker. You got to throw that a little bit more in these games.
Let's hear what Rob Thomson has to say. The Phillies now 0-2 to start the season, and they've been outscored 21-7. Here's the skipper.
What seemed off to you with Nola?
Quite honestly, I thought he threw the ball okay. I mean, they didn't hit many balls hard. The Albies home run, change up down in the zone, went down and got it. The home run that Wilson hit was towering fly ball, but it just seemed like every ball they put in play, went for a base hit or a double. He didn't get a lot of swings and misses. That was the deal. They put the ball in play.
Was there any thought to pulling him after the second inning?
No, because our our bullpen's not very deep coming into today, and anybody we used yesterday that we use today, they're down tomorrow. So he gutted it out for us, and he just probably saved the bullpen.
Ortiz, what happened on that play?
He just turned his ankle on his finish, his left ankle, and we're checking him out now. We'll find out what's going on with him tomorrow. See how he is.
I mean, you mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, he got banged up. You know, that was a little concerning when he went into the well there. He hit pretty hard.
Like I don't know how you teach someone to not do that. I mean, that's the second time he's done that in not so many games. First, is there a conversation to have be like, hey, like, just be more aware there, or?
Sure, but it's Bryce. He's going to play the game hard all the time, and it's tough to rein him in. But that's just the way he is.
Banged up, but what does that mean? Banged up.
Well, yeah, he's probably going to be a little sore tomorrow, I would think. You know, and I didn't take him out of the game just because of that. I just got him off his feet.
How frustrating or disappointing is it to get freed out of the game early?
Yeah.
And not be able to capitalize on that?
Yeah, I thought, our hitting coaches had a good plan, and I think our hitters executed very well. I really liked our at-bats tonight. I thought they were much better than they were last night, and they were grinding on Fried early, and we got them out, felt good about that, but we just couldn't sustain it. So, but I did like our at-bats a lot better. We had more walks than strikeouts, I think 5 walks, 4 strikeouts.
You started last year almost the exact same way, giving up just a ton of runs.
Yeah.
First couple games. How frustrated are you, or disappointed in just how you guys have showed the first 2 games?
Yeah, it's disappointing, because we were expecting to have a little better start, and I certainly have all the confidence in the world in this ball club. I don't think this is indicative of who we are. But, we got to come back in here tomorrow and get after it.
Aaron Nola on his outing today.
There, what was going on, you think? I didn't get the leadoff hitter out much. I feel like they kept finding holes. They hit some pretty good pitches. I'll go back and look, but I feel like they only hit a few balls hard. They were just finding holes and put some good swings on some good pitches.
How did you feel physically?
Physically, I felt good. Yeah, I felt good. I feel like I was filling up the zone until kind of later in those innings before I came out. I was kind of getting behind 1-0 a lot. But physically, I felt good.